Well, hi there folks. Well, we're going back in time a bit here because this was my little foamie chuck glider conversion number 7, I think it was, back in September 21, and it was my first venture into trying to make a model with an EDF. It flew well enough, pretty much hands-free, but I can't say it was very exciting. Anyway, since then I saw a video talking about the benefits of adding a thrust tube to the back of an EDF. I think it said maximum about 10 or 20% reduction in diameter there. Anyway, made a very simple one out of a bit of plastic tube that I cut from somewhere. Plastic tube and tape, hot glued on, as you can see, very simple. And finally got a chance to actually give it a good maiden to see what the effect of the thrust tube is. Incidentally, on the same occasion, although it was a bit windy, I got a chance to maiden my Lidl number 12, which is the Lidl Red Devil, which, as you can see, has got chopped off wings, big motor, and is kind of designed to be an aerobatic version of the Lidl. If you want to see how that went, video's coming up soon, but I must say it was amazing. But also, just telling you that my Lidl number 11 is getting very close to having a maiden. You may remember I posted a vid about having problems getting the centre of gravity right on this because it's a swept wing design. Anyway, as you can see, that is not far from a maiden. So if you want to see those, don't forget to hit subscribe down there. And while you're at it, why not check out some of the other vids on my channel. But anyway, let's get on with it. This is the rather exciting and interesting thrust tube test flight of my EDF Lidl, which was all going very well until it decided to fall out of the sky. And if you stick with it to the end, there's a bit of an analysis as to why it fell out of the sky. But anyway, here it is, let's get on with it. Well, we've actually got a little lull in the breeze. Let's see how we get on with this. Still doesn't want to turn right. Actually, it doesn't want to turn left. It turns right, okay, look at that. I must admit, that thrust tube does the job. Whoa, look at that. Right, I'll knock it back. Well, it's very windy for it, and I'm flying into the sun, which I don't much like. Actually, it will turn right or left. Flies well. That's got a 3S 800 in it. I think it's 45mm, plenty of thrust there. The thrust tube is still a bit out of line because when it's full chat, it doesn't want to turn in one direction. I can't remember. When it's only half throttle, which it is now, it's quite happy to turn right or left. Whoa, it's got some speed. It's just died. It just died. For some reason it died. Either I've burnt the speed controller, the ESC out, although I've burnt the motor out, but for a while there that was going amazingly well. No, there's nothing there. Oh, I've still got ailerons. I've only got one aileron, no elevator. Well, I don't know what happened there. I've got one aileron working, but no thrust. So either I've just sucked that 800mm battery dry and it decided it had had enough, or something else. But I was well pleased with that. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Ace, fun to fly. Ah, it's coming back to life. I can hear a beep there from the speed controller. Seems to be coming back to life. Oh yeah, oh yeah. A very hot speed controller. Can barely put my finger on it, it's too hot. And that's despite me making a scoop on the front of this to try and keep it cool. And it's a 30 amp one. Plus very warm battery, but that's EDFs for you. They do suck a lot of amps. So a while later, back at the ranch, I did a few tests just to make sure before ordering a new speed controller that it was the speed controller at fault. Connected it to another model and zilch, nothing happened. And then to check that the EDF was still working, connected a different speed controller to the EDF and she's working, so at least I know it's not the EDF, it's the speed controller. As far as the speed controller that I'd fitted went, it was a 30 amp speed controller, which should have been man enough to actually deal with the current draw, because the spec of the EDF I'm using, which is a 45mm AORC, was 28 amps at full chat with a 3S. However, it was sat there inside the foam, and despite my ventilation, I think it was all a bit too much for it. But another interesting lesson learned. The lesson being, if it says 28 amps, 30 amps isn't necessarily enough. I suspect, even though I'd flown it before with this in, the thrust tube was probably making this work just that little bit harder and drawing a bit more current. So I've got a 40 amp speed controller coming today, courtesy of Amazon. I've already decided, in fact I've already started making the holes for it, I've already decided it's going to sit on the outside here, like so, to keep it cool, because obviously my little ventilation scoop on this wasn't quite enough to keep it cool. But anyway, I found it an interesting lesson. I was very pleased with the way this flew now with the thrust tube, I can't even say it, with a thrust tube on it, and another lesson learned. So if you found it interesting, please give it a like, and why not check out some of the other vids on my channel. And like I said, coming soon, the Little Red Devil and the big version of my Little Hunter. So that's all for now. I'll stop rambling. Hopefully I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now. Oh, it's got some speed. It's just died. It just died. For some reason it died.